Well, once again, good morning if you are here in California or in the West Coast. Good afternoon if you are in Israel, and have a wonderful day wherever you are around the world. I'm very excited to be here today. My name is Sharon Vanek. I'm the Executive Director of the California-Israel Chamber of Commerce. For those who don't know, we are a nonprofit organization that supports both the ecosystem in California and the one in Israel, and provide opportunities for different stakeholders to meet their counterparts and work together. And this is what we're doing today is a great example for an opportunity to do exactly so. We are going to talk today about the call for companies by the Bird Foundation, specifically for companies that are operative in the Homeland Security industry. And I'm very happy and honored to have today with us a few guests. We have Shlomi Kaufman, Consul General of Israel to the Pacific Northwest. Thank you, Shlomi, for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Sharon, and good morning, Megan. Good morning, Maya. Good morning, Ben, and good morning, everyone who is online. Thank you for taking the time to be with us and to listen and to hear and to learn about the cooperation between the industries, the Israeli and the American industry. But we are at the consulate are in charge and dedicated to promote the relationship between Israel and the Pacific Northwest, which means California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and Alaska. And there are so many fields we are promoting our relationship, whether it's political, whether business, community. And this webinar in cooperation with CICC, the Bird Foundation, and of course our dear partners in DHS is one of the reflections of this cooperation. Sharon, thank you, of course, for leading that and for your dedicated work. Maya, thank you for connecting the industries here and in Israel. And maybe with your work, Maya, and the foundation work, I think what you guys are doing in bringing together companies and industries is so important, so vital to enhance and bring people together and bring projects together. I think your contribution through the years is amazing, especially in the past couple of years when focuses on HLS and Megan, thank you for your partnership and your office's partnership on that. So happy to be here. Thank you for the time of the dedication. Sharon, keep doing good work. Maya, so do you. And back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shlomi, for that. I also want to introduce Megan Mahelf. She's the Director of Industry Partnership at the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Thank you, Megan, for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. And of course, we also have my friend Maya Vardi-Shoshani. She is the Director of Business Development for the West Coast, representing Bird Foundation here.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today to listen about and learn about Bird and Bird HLS. And thank you for my partners.
Great. Last but not least, we also have with us Ben Alfie. He is the founder of Blue and White Robotics. Blue and White Robotics won a grant by the Bird Foundation in Homeland Security, and we are very excited to hear about his experience going through the process, and of course about the company, and to hear, where that collaboration brought them to. Ben.
Thank you for having me, and looking forward. Thanks, Sharon.
Okay, great. So I think with that, no further ado, we'll quickly dive into our presentation today. So the way it's going to work, we are going to first of all learn about the collaboration between the DHS and Israel through the Bird Foundation. Then we'll move to Maya to get a deeper understanding of the process and what is needed, what's the call for company is all about, and of course how the Bird Foundation and all of their associates can support you in that process. So Megan, floor is yours.
Okay, and I will share my screen, so apologies for just a minute while I work
Sure,
on that.
and while we wait for Megan to share her screen, I want to encourage our audience, if you have any questions, please use the chat box. We are monitoring the chat box and ask us your questions over there, and we will be happy to try and answer as many of them as we can during the presentations. And if we don't have time to answer them today in that forum, I promise you that we will get back to you. So once again, there is the Q&A box, the chat box at the bottom of your screen. Please don't hesitate to use it. Megan, can you just have it in the shared mode, share screen mode?
I thought it was sharing, is it not?
At the bottom of, now if you go to the right bottom, yes, there. It doesn't work?
It is working on my screen as full screen.
Okay, then if it doesn't work, then it's fine. Then it's fine. Okay,
I apologize. Hopefully everyone can see, and I'm happy to share the slides afterwards if that's helpful as well. Again, I'm very excited to be here today to speak to you a little bit about DHS Science and Technology as we're talking about the current BIRD HLS call for proposals. Megan Mayo, I'm the Director of Industry Partnerships at Science and Technology Directorate. And if you're not familiar, which plenty of people are not, DHS Science and Technology is really the research and development arm of the department. So when the department was stood up following September 11th, we pulled out most of the research and development budget for Homeland Security. And so we provide research and development, prototypes, commercialization solutions for our DHS end users. Customs and Border Protection, Secret Service, you know, the full gamut of everyone involved in DHS. And believe me, I know what a wide mission we have, but I see us as adding value in being able to really consolidate the research and development and really be the place to go to for people to understand how they can work to support our end users. So we have 6 broad mission areas, and you know they're the top of mind that you would think about when you think about Homeland Security, you know, counterterrorism, cybersecurity, borders, things of that matter. So this is just a very high level overview of what we're doing. We really are trying to provide mission-based research and development. So we focus very broadly on ensuring that, you know, we're doing research and development that's getting into the hands of our end users. We're not doing research for research sake. And I think that ties into our interest in the BIRD HLS program as well. We have 6 main areas, portfolio areas, and you'll see some overlap here with what we have in the current call for proposals. We take a very big interest in providing technologies for first responders as an example. And that's really where the current BIRD HLS program grew out of, was a mutual interest between DHS and our Ministry of Public Security partners in Israel on first responder technologies. There's a lot of overlap, a lot of interest. And we've grown the program since then in other areas like border security as well. So S&T and where BIRD fits in, I'll explain that in a bit, but we really have 3 different work streams across the directorate. So we're doing near-term component needs, less than 3 years. We want to get these things out. We have full research portfolios that really are making sure that we're addressing our component requirements that we're receiving. Then we also do foundational science, where we have 5 DHS laboratories. We also work with the Department of Energy's laboratories. We have university programs, our academic partners. We do small business innovation research within the US. And then we have our technology centers. So these are things that we know they're enduring research, they're cross-cutting. And then the third work stream is future needs and emerging threats. What's coming up next? We want to keep ahead so we're not constantly trying to catch up. And that's really our technology centers. And these are looking at things like AI and ML, cybersecurity generally, human research areas, just trying to make sure that we know what's coming next so that we are informing and advising our end users when they are so busy with their missions and seeing what they need right now. We are here to help them with what they might need in the next 3 to 5, 7 years.
Megan, I just want to comment that I don't know if you're moving your slides on your screen, but we still see the same fixated
Okay, I
intro
am moving my
slide.
slides. Oh no, I am moving my slides. Is that helping at
Yeah,
all?
I think now it's moving.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Now we see slide number 5, just to let you know what we see on our end.
Shoot, okay. Well, sorry about that.
No,
I'll
it's
leave it
okay.
in this view. My division, Industry Partnerships, is really looking at how we engage with the private sector to develop solutions for DHS missions. So we are going out and doing a lot of webinars. We love talking to people. We love teaching people about S&T and our business opportunities. We have a number of different ways of doing business to include BIRD. And then we are focused on the transfer and commercialization of our funded solutions. So again, making sure that we are promoting commercialization, focusing a lot on what small businesses can do that are then being sold back into DHS and impacting, a broader Homeland Security market. So this is a very long list of opportunities, birds at the top. This is alphabetized, but it's number 1 on this slide, right? So great for today's webinar. But we have lots of different ways that we like to try to engage with people. We certainly know that industry, that private sector isn't one size fits all, and we need to have multiple ways to work with us. So we have, everything from our long range broad agency announcement, which is ending 5-year solicitation that really just has broad mission areas, and companies, academia can tell us how they would meet those mission needs. And we don't really provide too much description on what we're looking for. And then we have everything down to our prize competitions, where we run small prizes for the department, where it might just be a few $1,000s, and we're looking for citizen innovators who maybe would never have considered how what they're doing as a hobby might impact Homeland Security. We also run our Silicon Valley Innovation Program, which is focused on the global startup community specifically. And then we have our Small Business Innovation Research Program as another area. DHS is obviously one of many US agencies that uses SBIR, but we love that program. We love the work that the small businesses have done to really impact the Homeland Security market over the long use of SBIR. And, finally, you want to transfer these solutions. And this really is a lot of what we try to impact through our work with the BIRD Foundation and our partnership with MOPS is we're focused on commercialization. We want to help. We know that DHS is a huge mission. We know that it can be intimidating. And as BIRD HLS grantees are working on their projects, how can we, DHS, how can we assist with ensuring that there's testing, there's relationship building with end users? We want to be that catalyst. You have a foot in the door when you have the grant from the BIRD Foundation. You're not just a vendor who's coming in, you're someone who has a funded technology and you're working on something that DHS and MOPS together have agreed is a priority. So how can we assist in making sure that your project is successful? So we really see a lot of our value for BIRD grantees in furthering that relationship, making sure that it's not just a standalone project, but it's something that is the first of hopefully more work and a commercial solution. And so we also run a number of other programs where we do our cooperative research and development agreements. We do a commercialization accelerator program where we're looking at federally funded technologies within the US and how we can make sure we adapt them for DHS use specifically. So just a lot of different options and a lot of different solutions that we have for our funded research to make sure that we're actually doing something with it. The last thing we want to do is have things just end at the end of a funded grant or a funded contract. We want to make sure that that's just the beginning of the work. And finally, my last slide here, and obviously I'm happy to take any questions now or at the end, but we have lots of different opportunities. And so one that kind of crosses over is our Silicon Valley Innovation Program. We find that a lot of people who are interested in BIRD HLS also have interest in our SVIP program. And so I want to make sure people are aware that we have 3 topic calls open for our Silicon Valley Innovation Program, in addition to our BIRD call in these areas of human performance and resiliency, soft targets, and flood data collection. And I just encourage people to take a look. We have a couple of industry days coming up for the soft targets and flood topics. But if these are also in your area of interest, there's nothing to prevent people from pursuing BIRD and Silicon Valley Innovation Program at the same time. But it certainly also gives everyone an awareness of the multiple efforts that we're running at any given time. And so, that's what I wanted to come and speak to today. I think we really are, pretty invested in BIRD. We're pretty excited to see the proposals that we'll get as part of this current call. And we have lots of other opportunities as well. So, please reach out, please connect with us. Happy to have any conversations about technologies or DHS use cases or how we might be able to connect in the future.
Great, thank you so much, Megan, for that. Quick question about the other call for proposals that you currently have. Since our audience, some of them are here in the US, some of them are in Israel, or maybe some other places around the world, just to make sure, the BIRD Foundation focus on collaboration between Israel and US-based companies. Just to clarify, the rest of your call for proposals, are they open for non-US based or US registered companies?
It depends on the particular call, but our Silicon Valley Innovation Program is open internationally. So we certainly welcome any, direct responses from Israeli companies, for example.
Okay, fantastic. And we will make sure to post that information also on our different outlets. So people will have that information. Thank you so much, Megan. Please stay with us. We'll probably have some more questions for you as we go further with this presentation. And with that, I would like to have a deeper dive into what is exactly the BIRD Foundation, the different avenues to work with the BIRD Foundation, and of course, with a focus on this particular call for companies, if we can learn from Maya about the needs, the topics, and of course, how the team can support you all. Thank you, Maya. Floor is yours.
Hello again. Thank you, Megan, for this explanation on how companies can engage with DHS. And I would like to now focus on the BIRD HLS call for proposals. So as Sharon said, I am the West Coast Director for BIRD. I'm responsible for all BIRD activities in this area. And now we have out the BIRD HLS, Homeland Security call for proposals, which we are calling companies and research institutes to reach out to us and submit proposals. And I will get into the details. Before that, I want to tell you a little bit about who BIRD is in case you are not familiar with us. BIRD is an acronym for Binational Industrial R&D. We are a fund that was established by the US and Israeli governments back in the 70s, but the goal was to promote innovation and collaboration between American and Israeli companies in any sector. We use an endowment that both governments gave us, $110 million, and we fund joint R&D projects of innovative technology. Everything we do is for mutual benefit of the US and Israel. Before we go into our process, I wanted to show who is on our board of governors, which is like a board of directors. And they are the people that decide which projects will be awarded and funded. In the case of the Homeland Security program and in our energy program, we have the stakeholders, the DHS and the Israeli Ministry of Public Security, called MOPS. They are the ones who will make the decision. In the case of our general call for proposals, we have two co-chairmen, chairpersons from NIST and from the Israeli Innovation Authority or the chief scientist. with State Department, the Department of Treasury, and on the Israeli side, the Ministry of Economy and the Ministry of Finance. So a big part of what we do is helping finding strategic partners. I believe that some of you listening in today might not have a partner, either an Israeli or an American partner. So this is a big part of our day-to-day work to facilitate introductions. We are like matchmakers. We help introduce companies to each other. And this is why my big ask from you today is to reach out to me. Even if you don't have an idea of an Israeli partner, we can help and make some introductions for you. And then if those introductions are fruitful and the matches turn into projects, we can potentially fund up to 50% of the combined R&D budget, up to $1 million. So as I said, we fund projects. We don't fund companies. We provide non-dilutive funding of up to $1 million. In some cases, in our general call, we can fund up to $1.5 million for exceptional proposals. We don't take any IP rights or equity. And the budget is divided between the partners according to the work share. Each partner will have to do a significant part of their tasks and innovation. And we can allow up to 30%, 70% of the work to be done by one partner, not less than 30%. Ideally, it will be a really equal partnership, 50-50. And the two partners will receive a relative match from Bird to cover 50% of their R&D expenses. We try to help companies complete the project, reach commercialization. So we look at the development part of the work in the broadest sense possible. We allow initial stages of sales and marketing. Also, we allow IP registration, and we get repayments as royalties if the project is successful and generates revenues. And then this will help us keep our funds sustainable. Repayments are capped and they're non-dilutive, as I said. And if there are no sales, there is no repayment, it becomes a grant. And it is called a recoverable grant. Who can apply? We have, it depends on the program. We have a general call, as I said. In the general call, in the general call, which we issue twice a year, every March and September, we invite partners, 2 unrelated companies, one from the US, one from Israel, jointly submit a proposal. It's an open list of topics, and it has to be a commercial entity. In the Homeland Security program, it is a bit different, and it can either be 2 companies or a company and a research institute. The same goes to our energy program. It also allows a collaboration between a company and a research institute or university. So the Bird HLS program was established back in 2016, and we are very happy to help with this important subject. It was established, as Megan described, between DHS and the Ministry of Public Security in Israel, under the agreement between the US and Israel on cooperation in science and technology for Homeland Security matters. It follows similar procedures to the regular Bird, meaning we can fund up to $1 million for a $2 million project. We issue a call for proposals once a year. Our call is out, and this is why we are here promoting it, calling companies or interested parties to reach out to us, even if you don't have partners. And we will help find you a partner and also guide you through the process of submission. You can see here the list of topics, and if you're not sure about eligibility, talk to us. We can try to give you an answer. And if we're not sure, we will reach out to our stakeholders, to Megan and our partners on the Israeli side, to ask if your specific project falls into what they're looking for. And if it's not, we will let you know in advance. We won't waste your time. We want you to be successful. So we try to bring the success rate in our process for the people submitting either the executive summary or the final proposal to be very high. The executive summary is short, non-binding documents submitted based on our template. The deadline is April 25. We can also provide feedback on the document if you share it with us before the deadline. And as I said, we can also ask for pre-ruling from the stakeholders if we're not sure about your eligibility. We try to bring the success rate in the next step, the final proposal, to about 30%. So we will give you a go, no go recommendation for your executive summary. We will let you know if we think you have good chances of winning the grant. If we recommend that you submit the full proposal. This is just a recommendation, but we believe that this process makes it very efficient. And for the companies who sit to write the full proposal, it is worthwhile because you have good chances of winning the $1 million grant. The decisions will be in September, so it's a pretty fast process for a federally funded program for $1 million. It is a competitive process, as I said, with external professional reviewers. In the general call, reviewers are from NIST and from the Israeli Innovation Authority. In the case of BIRD HLS, the reviewers will be professionals from DHS and from the Ministry of Public Security in Israel. This is what they are looking for. They're looking for project with a high level of innovation, for good synergy between the companies, good complementary technologies, or a challenging but good integration of one technology into the system of the other. And in some cases, it can also be a pilot project. They want to see that the companies or the partners have identified a good market opportunity and can quantify it. And finally, that the partners can demonstrate that they have commercialization strategy and the know-how to get to market. So these are the projects that were funded in our last call for proposal in 2021. Sage Tech from Washington and Sequoia from Israel, Central Square from Florida, and Carbine from Tel Aviv. We're very happy always to promote the projects that won. DHS issues a press release. They're invited to speak at events. And as Megan said, you have an open door. You put your foot in the door and you have connections to important stakeholders. Here are the 2019 with our guest speaker, Blue White Robotics press release. So this is the press release issued by DHS, which got a lot of publicity. Why BIRD? Why do companies come to us? Obviously, because of the funding, it helps support the project and the partnerships. We are not a VC. This funding is non-dilutive and often comes in a really good time for the partners. We share the risks. We don't have an upside. The risk is high because we look for innovation and risky technologies. So those projects are challenging from the technological aspect and from the partnerships side. There is a validation and a stamp of approval by having the project reviewed by professional reviewers from the government agencies and from the fact that they were selected from other projects by our Board of Governors and the Executive Committee. We know that participation in our process help in raising funds and in commercializations, and the joint commitment accelerates time to market. We also look at other national and state level metrics, more than just the success of the specific project or the sales. We look at the job creation, capital raise, merger and acquisitions, companies opening offices in the US, or the US companies open R&D centers in Israel. So we know a lot of activities is happening because of our bird activities. This is our my email, our website. All our forms are on our website, and I'd be happy to talk to each and every one of you, provide more information, help you find partners. Please reach out via email, through Sharon, on LinkedIn. I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Thank you, Maya, for that presentation and for all the information. It seems like a true win-win-win-win for everyone, I would say. It's a great opportunity to see really strong collaboration between the industry, first of all, between the folks here in the US and finding partners, you know, in Israel. Definitely, it's a win for the you know, DHS and other organizations that get access to know what is new in the market, what companies are working on. And I guess by far, it's also a great opportunities for those that actually going through the process. Even if they don't win a grant, they might find partners to work with. And with that, I really want to hear from our guest here, Ben Alfie, the founder of Blue White Robotics, about his experience, you know, going through the process, finding a partner, working together with a US-based company, getting the support from either the DHS folks or Bird Foundation and anybody else who supported them along the way. Ben, why don't we start with some information about the company? I'm dying. I see it's all about drones. I'd love to see what you guys are doing. And
okay. So thank you very much, and I think I'm happy that everything is recorded and looking as a follow-up on both what Maya said and what Megan have said here. I totally can tell you from the client side that what they're saying is totally true, and just you know, follow their leads and follow their recommendations. And I think it's an amazing project what we've done here. And in retrospective, I couldn't ask for more than what we've got last 2 years since we've signed on this project together during COVID and everything. So just a small introduction about ourselves. We are around 135 people already working in Israel, the R&Ds in Israel, and operating in the US, and working mainly on autonomous technologies, capabilities, both air and ground capabilities. And what we've done, we have joined hands with the Easy Aerial. They are doing drone in box, and we're doing operating systems. And we said, hey, let's work together in creating capabilities for first responders and for that enables the multi-types of drones and multi-types of missions to be implemented one time from one place. One person is operating several vehicles all around. Today we have created a capability that I'll show you a short video of what we've shown just last week, and we'll see what we've done here with this funding, total of $2 billion. I think people will be more interested of, okay, how do we structure this type of work together? Okay, what is the idea? So the basic idea is, don't do something that you just want to do to get money. Okay, no, don't do that. Do something that you want to do together that is valuable for both companies, and you think that can progress and create a good capabilities. you can pivot in a way or implement, or if you want to test this capability in a certain area and see, okay, is it fruitful to implement it? I think it's a good area of pure R&D to look at it, but also on your core research and development that is being done in your company. I think it's a great idea, and following that is okay. You know, Bird Foundation and all the amazing people that you see here are mediators in a way, or enablers, but it's finding the correct company to work with. I think it's crucial, and I would start with values, talking about that, but making sure that you're sharing the same values and following that, okay, that you can assist each other in creating the capabilities. So we found a unique capability of how each and every side puts in their knowledge in order to create one project, which is with shared IP, which is with shared sales. From the beginning, we also have negotiated how the IP will look like, also how once the project is being done and we have a product, what will be the revenue model, and not only with the Bird Foundation, but also between the companies. And I think it's really what made it very easy to accomplish following that. Yes, you do get a lot of exposure from day one. You really get money in the bank, and you really have no question asked once you are doing it correctly. But on the other side, what we got a label, a stamp, being said both by people that Megan is representing from the DHS, and we had from the internal security in Israel, who followed us and gave us the operational needs in a way. So it's not just, okay, go and do a project. Let's do a project that is suitable for a certain client, which is a market leader, okay? The Israeli Defense Forces, or the DHS, are in a way that while we created those capabilities, we already operated them in actual events, whether it's being selected by the Prime Minister office to the memorial service to do defense, or working in Tel Aviv municipality, being presented to a Ministry of Transportation from all over the world, and we're talking even during COVID. So actually, anyone that's been in Israel and participated, or in New York, was a part of it. And we did do a project. We worked also with our project during Shomer Chomot. We've been operational over there. And it was like, hey, are you ready to implement? Yes, let's do it. And we've done it in 24 hours. Gave actual visual insights of every house that was targeted, and to get an understanding of what's happening and the damages. And it was amazing, the ability to, because we got this pre-approval, it's like it's semi-RFI, RFE, to be in this discussion with the Bird Foundation and with the delegates from the government. So you already are in a way, so to be implemented in. And also just last week, we've been in New York presenting our capability, and at the end of the meeting, the mayor of New York says, okay, I've seen these capabilities, I've seen the film that you're about to see just in a second from now, and I need 30 of your systems deployed right now, and let's, okay? So just to, and if we were as a private company, if we would have gone knocking on the door, even if it's a good product, knocking on the door of the New York mayor, it's totally different when you have the umbrella of the government and everybody saying, hey, you passed our due diligence, we know what you're doing, We did give board reports and quarterly reports also face-to-face about the status of the project and the budget and everything. But I loved it because it was someone like to have like somebody that is looking from the side and really wants your success and giving the correct tips of how to do it. Just a short film to see how it looks. So just a short brief about that side. Our values of the company are fellowship, love of the land, and innovation. And fellowship from my side means that I want if any of you guys want my assistant or any of our assistants or the guys of how do we work on it together, what was it? We've done a 50-50 model, by the way, just like Maya said. So sharing is caring on that side. And anything that you want from us offline, just approach and I'll be happy to assist on that side. So the floor is yours for questions and I see the answer.
Thank you so much for that, and congrats on these great achievements as well. And you know what? Really, thank you for giving so many tips along the the way and during your presentation. Definitely, it was a success for your company and your partners. Look where it brought you, right? You were just not just presenting in front of the mayor in New York, but instantly also getting their assurance that your product is needed in their market. So kudos for that. Also, thank you, Ben, for giving some advice to our listeners about the ways, the needs, and how to approach that opportunity. We did have a question in the chat box. Really for you, Maya, people listening to all of this and they want to know, okay, what's next? Where do we find the link and how do we approach to you and get more information? So
yeah. So first of all, I posted my email, and I'll also post, of course, our website, which is www.birdf.com. All our call for proposals are there. There is a tab for Bird HLS with the call for proposals. with the previous projects that were awarded, the press release, which was published, you can see, and there is a tab of all the guidelines and forms. But I would really encourage you to have a conversation with me or with my team. We have a representative. We saw her photo with Alfie in New York, Andrea Iona, who is the Director of Business Development for the East Coast and the Midwest, who helped organize this amazing event in New York. And Alfie was a rock star. So we also have a representative in the south of the US, in Texas, based in Austin, Shiri Cohen-Freund, and the three of us will be very happy to help you find partners in Israel. We have a small team in Tel Aviv as well. If it's easier, we can connect you to them. We work together to help partnerships create these good projects. So if you don't have a partner, reach out to us, we will help. As you can see, we are very proud of our projects. So we try to give them an opportunity to speak and present and connect to the market. So it's much more than just the funding. And I really hope to bring more projects, better projects, good projects from the area. So please reach out to us. We have the funding to give. The government is interested in your technology. Talk to us.
Great, thank you for that, Maya, and thank you for reminding us of your associates, around the US. Obviously, we are based here in California, but this program is all over the US. So if your company is headquartered outside of California in other places, please remember that any US company is welcome to submit their proposals for those programs. Obviously, I mean, looking at your presentation, Alfie, drones seems to be very sexy topics nowadays. A lot of applications for them. Still, people are curious, and companies and the government curious about what can be done with drones.
I think if I remember, and I think it gave us a good understanding of needs, there was a list of 10 needs that's been distributed by DHS and also by the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I don't know if you are doing this also now, showing, asking your customers what are your needs and things that you are at. I think this gave us good focus, where we want to do and we want to establish capability.
Right, and I see Maya is sharing her screen. I think that if we can go back, Maya, to the call for companies and what are the areas that the Bird Foundation is looking for in this particular call for companies. Just to remind you all, we have a current call for companies specifically for this collaboration with DHS. However, the Bird Foundation issue call for companies all year round. If you are not a winner in this particular round, you will have other opportunities. So, if you don't succeed right now, try again, try later round, try to understand why you did not succeed at this point. But there is a whole list of areas where the Bird Foundation, the partners at the government level are looking for solutions. So Maya, if you can share that list with us once again, so people can have a look at that if they are watching us right now and if they are watching the recording later on.
So I put again the call for proposals, the Homeland Security call for proposals on the screen. There is a list of topics, law enforcement supporting technologies to combat cybercrime, technologies and methods to secure critical infrastructure and public facilities, soft targets, technologies focused on safe and secure cities, border protection, including maritime security, such as biometrics, screening system, robotics, etc. unmanned aerial systems, and advanced first responders technologies such as command and control, video analytics, communication, personal protective equipment, etc. Again, this is an open list. When the program was initiated, there were very specific capability gaps, and you could have applied only if you were answering one of these capability gaps. This list is now open because we want to hear about more technologies. And if you are not answering one of these topics and you still think that this might be of interest, please talk to us and we will send this to the stakeholders. I think that Megan can attest that she's receiving emails from us with questions if this project can fit the Homeland Security or not. And if it doesn't, then we recommend to the companies to submit to the general program. I went fast through this one, but we are agnostic to sectors in our general call for proposals. We invest in every innovative technology besides defense. We don't do military specific applications. And the Homeland Security or cybersecurity projects that don't fall into the categories, specific categories of the HLS call can still submit here. So if you miss the deadline, you can submit your application to the general call.
Thank you, Maya, for that. So again, just a reminder, Homeland Security is a very broad topic. And we saw in the list that there are a number of key areas that are of interest to both the HLS, Department of Homeland Security here in the US, and to the Israeli government. Please remember, no military grade solutions. However, cybersecurity, video analytics, AI, all the big buzzwords, right? Machine learning, unmanned aerial solutions, and so on. If they have an application that can help safeguard our cities, our countries, the people, first responders, these can all potentially go under this particular call for proposals. I also want to remind our audience that listening to this presentation is probably not enough. Please reach out to Maya and her team, whether they're in Israel or here in the US. Connect with Megan and the team at the HLS, DHS Innovation Center. Ask questions. They are here to help you be successful in the process of submitting your request to be approved, for your program to be approved. And hopefully once you are succeeding in that process, as we heard from Alfie, they are there for you also after the fact. That they are here to help that program to be a successful one, to get you access to the market, to help you with the PR. So as I said earlier, it's supposed to be a win-win-win for everyone. Megan, any other final words?
No, I think everyone summed it up really well. I think we really like the broad topic call that we have now. To Maya's point, I think it really allows a lot more creativity and more creative partnerships too from both sides, because it allows people to really come together on ideas that maybe we wouldn't have considered when we were telling people exactly what we were looking for. So I think we've gotten a broader range of topics that have come in, and it really excites the reviewers when we're looking through them. So we're looking forward to this year's round. And like you said, just any questions, any connections we can help with, please let me know.
Thank you for that, Megan. And really, partnership is the key word in this. The whole Bird Foundation idea is to create partnership that will last between companies in California and potential partners also in Israel. So back to what Maya said earlier, it could be really small companies, startups, big corporate, research institutions. If you are in that area, even if you don't have a partner, but you have some ideas of what would you like to develop something that you have, listed as part of your R&D efforts, please reach out, because we might be able to help you find a partner. So you can come up with just the idea, and we are all going to look into our databases, and we talk to a lot of other companies, and we will try hard to find you a potential match for that. Alfie, any last words of advice, wisdom of someone, a veteran of the process?
Yeah, well, I hope you got the idea that I really support this program. I think it's amazing. I think we are at the verge of a lot of things that are opening more and more, sadly, about security and about the needs to increase security. And I think it's a great opportunity to make sure that whatever you develop correctly to people who are in need, and to be more accurate. So really, the triple win that you were talking about is this is what it is. The money is a bonus. I think all the other things are much more effective and part of it. So best of luck to everybody.
Thank you for that, Alfie. And I know that you are super busy with, growing the company and the business. And now with all those doors that opened for you, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I know we didn't prepare it, but if anybody needs some,
definitely,
get, talk to Alfie, talk to the other winners. If you want their advice, if you want to hear, not in this capacity, if you have some specific questions, we will be happy, at least from our end, to connect to Alfie's team. I know you're busy, but I'm sure...
totally available. I think it's totally important. I think not doing it correctly creates huge mistakes that can be with an aftermath of 24. The small mistake would be not to be accepted just because of details and bureaucracy. But the big mistake is the project that is not correct or not structured correctly. And I think, as I said, sharing is caring, and I will be available for whoever needs.
Thank you so much for being so kind. I also want to thank Shlomi Kaufman and the Consulate of Israel here to the Pacific Northwest. And of course, there are other consulates around the US, and they all have teams that will be able also to support you. So there are so many people that want this to be a successful story. Please reach out to us. We will shoot an email to everyone who registered to this webinar today, and with some contact information. Please don't be shy. We are here for you. Thank you, Maya, again. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. This session was recorded and is going to be available on all of our social media and other platforms. If you didn't have a chance to, go over all the slides, if you think that you missed anything, please reach out to us, and we will be here to help you.
Thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Shlomi, and his amazing team that work really hard to help us bring more projects. So we really appreciate your partnership. Thank you, Megan and Alfie, for joining today.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.
Bye.